So, Toji was the first person in the entirety of the Jujutsu world who was born without any amount of cursed energy in his body, which essentially made him the most genuine case of heavenly restriction. Due to this, he was treated like a wildcard by his own kind, with the higher-ups not even feeling the need to provide him with a grade. Moreover, Toji was also the one who used heavenly restriction to his advantage the best, and he made every sorcerer and the entire Jujutsu world fear him. He sharpened his instincts and the rest of his abilities to an unimaginable magnitude and made a name for himself by defeating the strongest sorcerers, even without possessing any grade. So Toji eventually left the Zenin family and married a woman and changed his name from Toji Zenin to Toji Fushiguro. Her kindness helped Toji change his ways. He stopped gambling and hunting sorcerers, and it's likely that her influence stopped Toji from taking revenge on the Zenin clan. However, after her death, Toji reverted back to his old self. He sold their son to the Zenin family because he believed in his son's potential to be a real sorcerer. So, before Toji gets married, when Toji was still with the Zenin family, he went to see Satoru Gojo out of curiosity and was surprised that Gojo was able to notice him. Gojo was actually the first ever person who noticed Toji's presence, and that's why it came as a shock to Toji. Due to his lack of cursed energy and reliance on weapons, Toji was seen as inferior by many of his relatives. Despite this, some members of the family developed a tremendous fear of Toji's strength, while others grew to respect his tremendous physical strength. At some point after his wife's death, Toji met with Naobito to discuss him selling his son to the Zenin family once the boy's cursed energy manifested. He then remarried when Megumi was in grade school and later abandoned both his son and stepdaughter, Sumiki Fushiguro, to live his own life. As his son grew up, he eventually forgot what he looked like. So does this mean that Toji was a bad father and didn't care about his son? Well, it's not true at all. So Toji Fushiguro's dark past has made him commit more crimes than even he could count. However, walking out on his own son and selling him to the Zenin clan are some mistakes that he was clearly not proud of, and there are multiple instances where his guilt was visible. For instance, when Satoru Gojo asked Toji for his last words, he decided to tell him all about Megumi, as he was sure that he would take care of the situation and rectify his mistakes for him. Moreover, when he was reanimated in Shibuya through Granny Ogami's reanimation technique, instead of enjoying his second chance at life, he decided to sacrifice himself to save Megumi from his uncontrollable outburst. And even he named his son Megumi because it means blessings. So I do think that Toji is a bad father, but when it comes to his children, Toji did care about his children. Unlike any other known case of heavenly restriction, Toji possesses no cursed energy. His heavenly restriction completely eliminated cursed energy from his body. This makes Toji undetectable to other Jujutsu sorcerers, which makes him capable of moving through barriers undetected. This aided his unpredictability in battle and caused others to underestimate him based purely on cursed energy. The trade-off for Toji's complete lack of cursed energy is his immense physical prowess. While it has been noted that several people have had heavenly restrictions that bring their cursed energy to normal levels, Toji is the only case where it has erased the person's cursed energy completely. By eliminating all cursed energy, Toji's body became sharpened to a point where his 5 senses reached his pinnacle. While Toji is technically a non-curse user with no innate talent for Jujutsu, he was one of the most elite fighters in the Jujutsu world. With innate physical power far superior to all others in his path, Toji contended with the most dangerous and highly ranked Jujutsu practitioners this era had to offer. He defeated special-grade Jujutsu users on 3 separate occasions, one of which was a young Satoru Gojo, who was still considered a prodigy and one of the world's strongest sorcerers at the time. The other sorcerer who was considered the strongest at the time was the curse manipulator Suguru Geto, who was effortlessly taken down by Toji along with several of his strongest cursed spirits. Toji referred to Suguru's abilities as rabble compared to his own strength. Toji used the Jujutsu knowledge from the Zenin family and turned it against sorcerers, earning him the moniker of Sorcerer Killer. During the Star Plasma Vessel Escort mission, an assignment given to the 2 strongest sorcerers by Master Tengen, Toji was hired by the Time Vessel Association to assassinate the Star Plasma Vessel. Toji was able to completely derail the escort through a series of tactical moves over a few days. This wore down the escort team and lured them into a false sense of security before he abruptly made his move. Toji took full advantage of his lack of cursed energy, making him the perfect assassin thanks to his status as an invisible man. The culmination of all Toji's talents allowed him to successfully defeat the Star Plasma Vessel's escort team and assassinate the girl, completing his assignment while nearly killing both of Jujutsu High's most blessed sorcerers in the process. Later, Toji was only defeated when he pitted his pure physical prowess against the literally infinite power of the awakened limitless technique wielded by Satoru Gojo. Even in the face of this power, Toji was able to create clever ways to combat the abilities of the limitless that were known to the Zenin family. Only the secret hollow purple technique was powerful enough to put down Toji once and for all. Yuki Tsukumo, another special grade sorcerer, found that Toji was the only case where a heavenly restriction has eradicated someone's cursed energy completely. By eliminating all cursed energy, Toji's body was sharpened to the point where he developed a resistance to the curses and could detect them with his highly refined 5 senses. This also allowed him to dominate and utilize a cursed spirit capable of storing his wide arsenal of weapons. Yuki considered him to be truly superhuman and told Suguru that he shouldn't be ashamed to have lost to him in a fight. Toji is capable of employing a wide variety of weapons in battle. He keeps a vast arsenal in his cursed spirit, allowing him to efficiently switch weapons out based on necessity. Toji has used non-cursed tools such as swords to perform a sneak attack, so no cursed energy will be detected. Armed with a normal handgun, he's also an expert marksman with extremely precise aim. Toji can counter Jujutsu users because he's also a master of wielding cursed tools. He used a cursed tool broadsword to counter and slice open giant cursed spirits. Sometimes he employs his special grade cursed tool, the inverted spear of heaven, and with it, he could capitalize on the dagger's powerful nullification technique to negate even the most powerful sorcerer's cursed techniques. Let's have a look at some of Toji's weapons that he used while fighting. First one is the Split Soul Katana. It was one of Toji's primary cursed tools. It was a large Japanese broadsword with a first tsuba and a dark handle. Coupled with Toji's physical talent, this weapon was able to cut through several of Suguru's curses, including the Rainbow Dragon, which had the hardest skin among all curses. This weapon is said to be worth 500 million yen. Next is the Inverted Spear of Heaven. It is a special grade cursed tool with the ability to completely nullify cursed techniques on contact. It uses an imbued curse technique fueled by foreign cursed energy. Toji used this to force the stoppage of Gojo's Infinity technique, which resulted in completely bypassing the nearly impenetrable Limitless. Next is the Chain of 1,000 Miles. It is a mysterious cursed tool that can keep extending as long as the user doesn't allow the back end to be visible. So Toji hides the end of the chain in his cursor's mouth, and he connected the inverted spear of heaven to the endless chain to create a kusarigama-like weapon, allowing him to use the inverted spear of heaven from long range. Next is Playful Cloud, which is a special grade cursed tool that embodies pure and solid power. It originally belonged to Toji, and he got it back from Maki's Zenin after he was resurrected. In Toji's hands, the 3-section staff reflected his incredible physical strength, making a weapon capable of destroying even Dagon's hardest Shikigami with a single blow. By rubbing it together, Toji sharpened Playful Cloud, turning it into a deadly stabbing weapon. He used it to stab Dagon repeatedly through the head until the special grade was exercised. Later, during the Shibuya incident, Ogami had used her cursed technique to transform her grandson into Toji to gain his physical abilities. After her grandson defeated Takumo Ino, the grandson's personality is suddenly overwritten by Toji, much to Ogami's shock. Toji explains that copying his body was a mistake because his body is special, and that if his orders are to kill sorcerers, he'll start with Ogami, so he attacks and kills her. Because Ogami's cursed technique continues even after her death, and because of her grandson's lack of cursed energy, Toji remains active in her grandson. Toji's sole reason to exist became to mindlessly fight until his body is destroyed. He started hunting down the strongest opponent closest to him to kill them. Later, Toji manages to find Dagon's domain and enters through a hole that Megumi had made while the boy and his allies were trying to escape. After entering the domain, Toji easily takes Playful Cloud from Maki and prepares to fight Dagon. Now Obito looked at him and was completely shocked. As Dagon attacked with his Shikigami, Toji easily manages to take them all out and beat Dagon down with just pure physical power. Toji then sharpens Playful Cloud by rubbing the ends of the weapon together. As Dagon tries to escape from Toji, now Obito blocks Dagon, giving Toji the chance to pierce Dagon. Dagon says that it's not over, but Toji continues to stab Dagon until he is exorcised. Toji then turns his attention to Megumi and drags him to another location to fight him. Megumi tries to create a cover with his escape rabbit technique, but Toji easily gets past it and attacks him. Megumi dodges Toji's attack and quickly runs to an alley. Toji chases after Megumi and attacks, but misses because he steps in the trap that Megumi had created. Megumi goes to stab Toji, but Toji easily manages to get away. Then, Toji suddenly regains his senses and asks for Megumi's name, which Megumi tells him. Toji is glad that Megumi didn't take in the Zenin name, so in order to save his son from himself, Toji stabs himself in the head, destroying his vessel and ending the fight. Toji has also been noted to have superhuman speed, so much so that his opponents can't read his moves. He could dodge Satoru's cursed technique, Lapse Blue, completely avoiding the field of attraction before Satoru even realized it. Megumi also stated that Toji was ridiculously fast, even faster than Sukuna with 3 fingers. In their fight, Toji could avoid a point-blank stabbing attack despite getting his foot caught in Megumi's shadow, thanks to incredible agility and reflexes. He also stated that seeing Toji while he moves is near impossible and was impressed his speed rivaled that of Sukuna's without cursed energy. Toji's speed was enough to easily counter Suguru's curses in exchange. He quickly avoided Suguru's Rainbow Dragon by moving on top of a building despite the swift curse in front of him. As soon as Suguru came in close range, Toji cut him and the imaginary vengeful curse down in a flash. Inside Dagon's domain, Toji was so fast that he could run on water like it was nothing, which even shocked the special grade curse. He only got faster as their fight went on, allowing him to plow through the endless stream of Shikigamis with ease. Even if Toji cannot match a sorcerer in strength and talent, his tactical intellect, twisted mindset, and intricate understanding of Jujutsu have made sure that he takes the cake on countless occasions. It is his ability to be a serious threat to every sorcerer, no matter how strong or talented, that makes him worthy of being called the Sorcerer Killer.